Welcome to the Peak Podcast. My name is Kyle Nelson, and I've got my good friend, co-host, and good business partner. You just say good buddy, but today we'll say all three. Mr. Eli Libby. What's going on, man?
Thank you, man. You want to say my height and weight as I run into the stage, or what?
Right corner, 6'1".
Yeah, 6'2". Got to get the height right.
I know.
Oh man,
what's going on? Beautiful day.
Great day, man. Really good day.
Yeah,
Good day to be back in the studio.
I
understand it, but I'm just so stoked and proud of our studio.
Oh man, I know it's been something we've been celebrating a little bit lately.
It really
it's
has.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Well, before we get started and bring on our awesome guest that we're looking forward to having a great conversation with, we'll tell you a little bit about the podcast. This is the Peak Podcast, if you haven't visited us before, where we talk to other coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs, and really kind of dive into what that peak moment was before they got started with what they're doing today that really pushed them to do it. And we are the co-founders of Peak Fulfillment, where we help people go on self-guided 3-day solar retreats where they can gain some clarity in life, do some self-reflection and self-discovery, and really craft a vision for the future moving forward. But without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Steve Hoskinson, the founder of Organic Intelligence.
Yeah, there he is. Welcome,
What's
man.
going on, Steve?
Hey, y'all. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to see you, and just proud to be a part of your program here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excited
Great
to have you
Yeah,
on.
great to see you. And what did you think of the intro?
That is stellar. You know, y'all are a well-oiled machine.
Okay, he killed it. He kills it every
We had a
time.
little convo beforehand.
We did, yeah, a
on the
little
podcast
pre-chat.
about
So
the-
if that
about our,
doesn't make sense.
our radio voices.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, awesome, man. Well, tell us a little about just today in a couple sentences. What are you working on? What's Organic Intelligence? What are the main focuses with that?
I was today. I've done. I've talked to people that are doing our social media. I've done a coaching session with a collective. We have a program called the End of Trauma course,
Okay.
and I did that program, and it's super fun because our ecosystem is unlike pretty much anything else out there in the therapeutic and coaching world, because we're shifting the frame of reference pretty hard, and it takes a minute for people to grok what we're doing and go, oh, you mean, we don't have to rehash all of our problems. We don't have to delve into the trauma. We don't have to talk about our mothers in a bad way and still heal. Is that possible? And so, I was doing some coaching there and just love being with our community and sharing good news of organic intelligence.
Love it, man. So you focus on individuals that have PTSD.
Well, for sure. And we really broaden it into trauma writ large. And we kind of feel like it's an epidemic right now that even just living in this culture throws us off, I think. And so we are looking at trauma really from the standpoint of biological organization. And I'm the geeky dude that lays that out in all kinds of details.
Man, that is so cool. I loved when we did a pre-chat a couple months ago. I loved everything that you do, and I'm really excited to dive in deeper. So, Steve, is there, feel free to go as far and deep into the stories you'd like, but how did you get into this? Was there a traumatic event that sparked this?
Wow. I come from a legacy, like a lineage of helpers. And that lineage actually is multiple generations of Methodist ministers in Kentucky, back to nearly pioneer days. And so there is something about that has always been an ethos. You do what you can to help people as much as you can. You don't neglect your own well-being, but we are here to really make a difference also in the lives of others. It's not just all about me. It's actually all about us. And so I've created a platform in which we do that. We help each other and then help each other to really make a difference for other people.
Man, how amazing.
How did you specifically get into the trauma area?
Yeah, I was working. I was just out of college. I was working in Washington, D.C. at an inner city health clinic, and so talking on the daily with people that were homeless, refugees, people that have no money, and they were coming in and they were getting these services. I just realized that I was going to need more skills because people were, they would talk to themselves, or they would not make any sense, or they're just really radically disoriented. And so I decided then and there, like, I got to get some more training. I got to get some skills. And I went to clinical psychology school. And then from clinical psychology school, I likewise reached the edge of therapeutic benefit. Like, this is all that I can do. There's got to be more. And I began to look at the mind body issue and really, what are they talking about when they're talking about chi or ki, and began to delve into that mind body issue, and through, say, Aikido, through a whole host of other practices and meditations, and then began to really do this mashup that is now organic intelligence, including especially how the body works. And I had a ton of professors and trainings around neuroscience and neurobiology that got me into understanding the way the biology works, and hopefully trying to translate that complex understanding into actionable resources.
Oh, so cool.
I love that story.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people that get diagnosed with PTSD, the natural thing, or well, I guess they were diagnosed from, is they've just been going to therapy, and they get a therapist and they work through things for years. What would you say the biggest difference is between just going to a therapist and kind of the system that you've created? Because it sounds like it's much more robust. It sounds like it could be a quick way to really understand the trauma and heal from it.
Well, yeah, like, people are seeking a whole host of support. So you can go to therapy, you can go to the beer counter,
Yeah.
and that's the medicine that many people head toward, there are, a whole host of complementary practitioners. Honestly, the market is flooded right now with everybody waving the flag of trauma healing. And so I think the first thing that we offer that's outstanding is a legacy of decades of work in this area, a ton of training and a lot of science behind it, and a track record of success. So that's the first thing, like, just sorting wheat from chaff, trying to figure out what's legit and what's not in the marketplace is really tough for people right now trying to heal. And so that's the first thing. I think we offer a long-standing practice that's been successful. And also then the other main thing, to get directly to your question, is that we are understanding that this wild idea, we grow through support. We don't necessarily need the level of challenge. We don't have to become Navy SEALs to heal from trauma. There is all the time these ideas and notions, these emotions, these images, things that are arising right within our mind that are missed and neglected, that have the intention to heal us. That is, there are thoughts, there are words, there are images, there's all the time messages coming right from us that we miss because we've been focused on trauma. Honestly, on trauma, in science, it's known as the negativity bias. We're so focused on the problem and the issue that we miss the message of healing that's arising all the time. Like you talk to a client, and then all of a sudden they're like thinking like this, and they're in their thoughts or maybe in their emotions, but right here is another message. Like, this is another message. Or they put their hand here, or they go, oh, I just saw a bird flying by. And in traditional therapy, you'd say, oh, that's like they're trying to avoid something. But in fact, what I discovered was, if you follow some of these simple distractions, they actually have really significant messaging into our biology that's a step toward feeling better and healing, actually.
Fascinating.
Man, that is very cool.
So
I love how body language plays into that.
Yeah.
What is this message, though? What does that do when somebody puts their hand on their?
Well, you'd have to ask them, first of all, but it might be, oh, poor baby. It's like, oh man, or like, here's some support. You don't have to feel so vulnerable. One of the classic ones is that people will in, like, the business world say, oh, don't stand like this. Don't do with your arms closed, because that looks like a closed position. You're emotionally closed. We would say, if you find yourself doing this, feel it. Like, what's the benefit of it? What is it doing for you? And if you feel it, you might feel like really supported. You might feel like, oh, there is an intelligence that's operating there that's bringing you love and support.
That is really cool, man. I'm pumped. Steve, I got a question for you. It's something that we reflect on all the time. The question to you is about, what are you most proud of in the business? We reflect on that a lot, and we go back and we are constantly analyzing the wins and what we're proud of to acknowledge what we've done in the past that's built who we are and what we have built today. And we talk about this all the time, and we're super proud of our program, what we've done and how it's transformed lives and how we've built this kind of tangible experience along with this community. What are you most proud of?
First of all, I should say you're so right on. I've looked at your programs. It's really amazing what you've created and the amount of service you're providing to people to help. I'm totally down and so appreciating what you're doing. So yes, you should be proud of that. That's rocking. I think for us, we're again sort of pastorally oriented. And so I think what we're most proud of is that we love and serve our community wholeheartedly. And in terms of our allocation of time, we spend less time in promotion, marketing, and the things that you usually think you have to do as a business, and instead are tending to the well-being and the growth of our members. And so that's the thing. And my partner, Amber Tennell, the managing director of Organic Intelligence, has the biggest heart of anybody I've ever met. And she's just constantly handing out the support. And that's what we're most proud of. There's a pattern and a legacy of love and care for people coming into our system. We are more concerned in a way with their well-being than with like the next sales call.
Yeah.
That's very cool. How does the program work now? Do you have coaches around different areas? Do they go just talk straight to you, or how does that work?
Yep. We have coaches and folks in our membership from over 100 countries. And so, because I've been doing this for a couple decades, and so there are several doors that they can come in. One of them is happening right now, which we just started the new cohort of what's called the End of Trauma course. And that's where people begin to develop the ethos of this self-organizing biology that can happen, which is really cool. Or they can join our coaching course, the OI coaching certification, where they learn to do this. And so either of those are like really entrees into our system. And I think those are the entrees that we'd be interested in.
I love that. Entrees. Do you
go for it?
I've got some of this. So we kind of talked about your peak moment and when you kind of tipped into this and got involved in that. What about, I know it's different for every client that you work with, but is there a consistency with their peak moment? So when you work with somebody, when they finally get over that hill or they get over that hump, is there a consistency in when that typically happens?
No, that's such a cool question. What we are working with the neurophysiology. We're working with the biology. So we're having a normal human conversation. We call it the free association conversation. We're having this conversation, and then underneath that, I am watching physiological patterning and amplifying or de-amplifying certain aspects of that physiology underneath. And so much of what's happening is not necessarily happening at the conscious level. And so people are sort of getting it, and then bam, it happens. It's like, oh, now I get it. Some people, it's right away. Some people, they watch one video, oh yeah, this makes complete sense. Other people, we've had them go through 3 years reiterating just again and again the End of Trauma course. It's a 10-week online course. They did it 1 year. It's like, maybe. They did it the second year. Okay, yeah. And then the third year, like, oh my, that's the thing. And you just never know. What is it? What's the straw that broke the camel's back, or what's the drop that overfills the cup? We just don't know, because everybody is so different. But a lot of times people come into our programs going, this makes sense to me. This resonates. This is my thing too. So I want to be a part of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, Steve, as we kind of start butting up to the end of this, I'd love to ask you, what is one thing you hope that you can really inspire our audience with? If there's one big takeaway for them, what would that be?
That already within them is their own wholeness, completeness, and healing intact already. And all the work is recognizing it's already here and how to recognize it. And that's what I want folks to take away. Don't give up. Don't lose hope. It's already here, and you can find it. And people like you and Organic Intelligence can help people find it.
Absolutely. Love that, Steve. Well, thank you so much, man. And if people wanted to connect with you or go through your program or just learn more, connect, what would it be?
Organicintelligence.org.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thank you so much for this short conversation. I'm sure we'll have you on and keep in touch, but appreciate the inspiration and all the knowledge you shared with us today.
It's a pleasure. Look forward to next time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Steve.
That was awesome. I got to come out with some long form.
We do.
Podcast because
we'll have to run a long one.
Fantastic.
I would love to have. Actually, I should have asked for Steve's from. I know we'll talk about it in the post show.
Yeah.
I think he's in the PNW, kind of up in the West Coast. I think.
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people need his work and what they're doing. It's really important. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to listen to awesome guests just like Steve, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell wherever you listen to podcasts. And for now, we're Kyle and Eli, and we can't wait to have you along on the next podcast. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys later.